Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and this is one that I picked up from Birretta when I was in Regensburg, from a new brewery for me, and one that I've seen the sort of images online on Instagram and stuff, and they were actually at the Regensburg Craft Beer Festival doing some nice sort of like nitro dessert, like beer alchemy sort of stuff. But because I was too busy catching up with the guys from Pirate Brew Berlin and Yankee und Kraut for pretty much all 3 days, I didn't actually get around to seeing too many breweries, but I heard a lot of good things about them. And while I was in Birretta, saw that they had a few of their beers, and I thought I'd try this one out. So this is from Atelier der Braukünste, which I think is translated to Atelier the Brow Artist, or Atelier the Brow Artists, or Brewing Artists. I could be completely wrong with that one. It's a little bit foggy. But the beer itself is called Abends am Kamin, and it's Imperial Brown Stout. And if I remember correctly, Abends am Kamin translates to evenings in front of the fire. I can't remember. Apologies if that's terrible, by the way. But yeah, this is an Imperial Brown Stout, clocking in at 8.2% ABV in a 330ml bottle, brewed with malt, wheat, rye, hops, yeast, and then brown sugar. So sounds fantastic, and just look at that artwork. Absolutely beautiful imagery there. It sort of reminds me of like a doom metal image or something like that. But yeah, I really dig the art direction on this. And there's a really cool crown as well. So yeah, an Imperial Brown Stout. Let's see what this one's all about then. Using my beer moth glass, a snifter, pouring it in. And there we go. It's not pouring too thick, more of a dry stout sort of look to it. But quite carbonated actually, but then again that could just be the fact that I'm terrible at pouring beer, evidently. But here we've got 3 fingers worth of a slightly tan coloured head with a little bit of khaki in there. But yeah, beer in the glass. It's not completely jet black, but it's a really dark, oaky sort of mahogany look to it. Quite dense in appearance actually. But that head is lovely and pillowy and almost creamy as well. So it certainly looks appetising. So let's see what we get on the nose. It's got quite a fruity sort of edge to it, like a fruited dessert, or like a Christmas pudding almost. There is that big brown sugar element to it. You definitely pick that up. Now that the beer's in the glass, that fruitiness is subsiding a little bit. And you're getting a lovely sort of subtle cocoa powder aroma. A little bit of chocolatiness. Also reminds me of like chocolate fudge bars. Yeah, it's got that like chewy dessert-like aroma to it, like a really dense caramel sweet. But yeah, it's not the most in your face or aromatic of beers, but what you get in there does smell really quite nice actually. So let's give it a taste. Prost. That starts off really quite dry actually. You get a big hit of rye bread straight off, this big savoury drying like roastiness. Then that brown sugar comes into play. Then a little bit of a dark berry, sort of black currant character comes through. And then right in the back end, it becomes dry again with this big coffee bitterness. mixing with a dark cocoa powder as well. The body's a little bit thin, like a dry stout. To me, it's got the body of like a 4 to 5% dry stout, but it's a little bit syrupy. There's a very subtle velvety edge to it, and that like roastiness is masking that 8% ABV really nicely. That is a very deceptive beer in terms of its alcohol content. Get your words out, Peter. Lovely, gentle, smoky characters coming through there. It's got like, it has these moments where it's like earthy, but then it's sweet, and then goes back to being earthy again. And I think what this beer needs, even though on the description that they've got on Untapped, they're saying it's not for the sort of person who wants like a really sweet imperial stout, because it is really woody. There's almost like this barrel character in there. So, you know, they're actually advertising it as, oh, this isn't for the people who like the sweetness. But I think the flavours in there would be complemented beautifully with a little bit more of a sweet character, maybe be a little bit bolder in the body. Now I'm talking, that smokiness is building up in the back of my throat and down in this area. So you are getting the warmth from that ABV, but there's no harshness. It's really nice and subtle. It's a lovely, lovely beer, but one can't help but think that there could be a little bit more oomph to it. But this is a beer that you could happily sit with on a winter's evening in front of a fire. It's warming, it's nice, it's roasty, it's toasty. And yeah, I definitely think there's a place for a beer like this. But just, if it was a little bit creamier, maybe. Maybe like an addition of lactose. But then again, that would be a completely different beer then. So maybe, you know, at its heart, that's a great base beer. Very solidly brewed. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But I think a beer like this, and especially in this climate, even though I'm a person who really likes to see brewers going against the grain of what's popular within that style, I just like to see a bit more experimentation. And maybe they do more beers and adapt it and change it and tweak it and stuff. But yeah, that's a really quite nice introduction to a brewery, and one that I would definitely pick up again. Maybe age it for a little bit. I mean, the best before date isn't actually on the bottle, I don't think. Can't find it anyway. But yeah, that's a lovely little beer. And it's just amazing how gentle it is for an 8% ABV Imperial Brown Stout. And it's probably because I'm used to these like adjunct, chewy, desserty pastry stouts. So to have something that's a little bit different, I think that's a great thing. There's a lovely, that burp has given me a really nice, like brown sugar. You've made a caramel from like Demerara sugar. But yeah, there's really nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me personally, it could do with going in some sort of direction with additions, but then again, they might do beers using this base build and going off in different directions. But yeah, lovely rye spiciness, lovely gentle coffee tones, lovely gentle grounded brown sugar notes. Not too sweet, not too savoury. It sort of fluctuates between each sip, and it depends if the beer hits the front of your palate or then if it hits the back of your throat. You're getting a little bit of a different drinking experience, but that's going to happen anyway because that's how taste buds work. You didn't need an overweight, almost albino to tell you that. But yeah, nice introduction to a brewery that I'd definitely like to try more of their beers. So in terms of a rating then, on the Abends and Kamin Imperial Brown Stout. I'm going to give that a very solid 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you've tried any of their beers, then let me know your thoughts, opinions. Any recommendations, always appreciated. Another great example of German craft brewing. I love German craft beer. I love German beer. That's another fine example. If you want to find out more about German beer and craft beer, then I'll put my German beer and German craft beer playlist down below, because Germany has so much untapped potential for the UK market. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I'd love to go to Berlin. Oh my god. All the places opening up now in Berlin. It's like a craft beer mecca almost. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Another fantastic buy from the wonderful folks over at Birretta. So if you're ever in Regensburg, definitely go check them out. I'll put their links down below. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Prost und auf Wiedersehen. See you later.